interface. And interface was separated into two categories this year, 405 and 408. 408 being our transitional category, which is our express start or digital remote start category, and that's really the category on the rise. It's about a 60-40 split, being 60% up. If you split the two categories, we've about 60% up in express start and about 40% up in interface. It's pretty exciting. So I want you guys to give yourself a big round of applause, because you know how that comes, you know how that happens? Go ahead. That's it? Seriously? Woo! Yeah! All right. Because that's what it is, right? Persistence breaks down resistance. You guys went out and sold it. You sold it, right? So we're up. We're up. But what does it mean beyond the fact that you sold it? It means it works, right?
Yeah.
Right? It means people 60% up express start. What does that mean? People are accepting digital remote start technology, right? Those are important facts. You got to put those in your bag of tricks, right? We know that now. That's really important. So we all agree, right? We're doing a lot better. Interface is progressing. We're doing better. We got better car coverage. Still a lot of room for improvement, but we're doing real well. That's pretty exciting. You guys are learning how to sell it, so that's real good. But there's a couple things we got to learn about. We got to talk about today. We got to change the way we sell interface. We're very much focused today on, this is very much tying back to what Glenn talked about yesterday. It's transitional. We got to change. We got to keep moving. As we sell interface today, which is completely against the way the fundamental sales rules are applied. We sell what's in the barn. We never sell what we don't have. But in interface, what do? We always focus on selling what we don't have, right? Right, Bob Hernandez?
You're selling the vehicle.
I was like, well, we got 99 vehicles, but we don't sell. We don't have Toyota Camry. What the hell? Suck. We can't buy interface. It's not the case, right? We got to understand. What I'm going to show you today is how to sell interface, what it means, what our value propositions are, what you should be doing when you walk into the dealers, and what we should be focusing on. Don't focus on what we don't have. Focus on what we have. It's transitional, right? Make them understand, because we have tremendous value. So the reality is we're better, yes. But we're going to show you some cool stuff today. I'm going to show you a whole new merchandising campaign. I'm going to show you how we reposition the product. I'm going to show you how we re-merchandise the product. I'm going to show you how you go out and sell the product. So this is going to be a real different approach than what we do with interface, or what we've done historically with interface. Okay. So since we last saw each other, we've made a lot of progress. We've delivered a lot of firmwares, about 25 new firmwares actually. Since we last saw each other, I know it was CES, but I was counting last SSM, or last summer sales meeting. So since the last summer sales meeting, we've released over 25 new firmwares for DVL. It's pretty cool. And now that's not new. That's new to us is incremental. So adding a new car to a firmware is still the same amount of work as releasing a new firmware, right? You still have to go through the same validation processes. You have to go through the same doc exercises, the same updating online, the same amount of work. 25 new solutions. So we released Nissan Infiniti RSR, pretty cool. Yes, we did. New Chrysler RSRs for our buddy Bob Hernandez's customers. Toyota Keytype, Ford RSR, which were industry leading, unique with one single box solution. We have Hyundai, legacy coverage, which is really important because we were lacking a little bit, right? Going back a few years, right? Everybody aware that our older legacy coverage wasn't great? 2008, 2007, 2006. So that was one of the weaknesses in our game. We tightened that up. We got all the older coverage up there. We've done a lot more than that, but this is some of the highlights, so it's pretty exciting. We started shipping Express Start 1, right, in Q1, right? We know about that? Yes? Yes? Exciting. We reached 90% of DVL coverage with Express Start 1, which means we ported over almost all of our firmware. The last 10% is done as well. It's just sitting in validation, in various stages of validation, so we've got another little while to get those out, but they'll all be out well before our season starts. So that's pretty exciting, right? We're going to be 100% of firmware on DVL and Express Start 1, they use the exact same firmware. We got that commonality all worked out, so it's pretty exciting. So it's pretty cool. We launched T-harness solutions for Nissan and GM. Who knew that? Who didn't know that? Thank the Lord. All right. Good. So there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of great stuff behind this, right? That's the reality. We've done an amazing amount of work as a team. You've gone out and you've sold it, which means you're getting it. The dealers are accepting it, so it's going real well. So everything's pointing in the right direction, right? So, start the parade and launch the fireworks, yay. Toyota, right? This is the one moment in our presentation where I'm going to focus on a single solution. Right? We released this last week. It's the big one, right? It was what we didn't have. We can't sell interface. We cannot sell interface because we didn't have this car. We can't. Too bad. Sorry. So sad. Too bad. Done. I'm out. So, walk into our dealer. I'll sell you interface. Yeah, but you don't do Toyota. Okay, sorry. Good luck next time. I'll see you around. See you on the next sales call. Right, that's the problem, right? That is the fundamental flaw in our game. Don't focus on a single solution. Don't be narrow-minded and think about that one thing. Get the dealer thinking beyond that one solution. It is important. I get it. I get it. I'm in the business. I get it. It is important, but it's not the sales. It's not the thing that's going to make the difference between a sale and not sale. So let's talk about some of the strengths in our game, right? Let's not talk about the things we don't have. Let's talk about some of the stuff we have. So we recently released the whole suite of Chrysler firmwares for all the newer cars. Everybody knew about this? Yeah? Can I see a show of hands who didn't? Trick question.
Good.
So,
I know.
but we go to 2014, right?
We go to 2014, correct. When I did the banner, we did, you know, we were
Okay,
a little
just
early.
wanted to make sure.
Yeah, we
'cause-
go to 14.
Okay.
Now, it's a good question. What percentage of cars do we cover in Chrysler?
100.
100%. Exactly. We cover 100% of 2013 Chrysler models.
That's the goal.
Who said?
But 2014.
And 14 as well.
Okay.
Thanks, sir.
So that's pretty exciting stuff, right? That's good information. Chrysler, I think they sell some cars, right? They're a little popular, right? A few here and there. Not bad?
Couple.
Yeah, a couple. So, with the new T-harness solutions, we offer the most plug-and-play RSR solutions. Everybody knew that? Yeah? Pretty cool, right? So with OBDTH, everybody know what the OBDTH is? You probably know it as the OBDTH GM 1 or 2. This cool little harness here, right? When I released it, it was a GM. I'll pass that around. I released it as a GM harness. I'm going to remove the GM suffix on it, which kind of puts it in a box and says the GM harness, which is really not. It's an OBD, generic OBD plug-and-play T-harness that plugs into a DVL. And so it can be used for anything. So what does that mean? What does it do for us? Well, kind of exciting because we have an exclusive offering, Bob Hernandez, for plug-and-play RXT and Chrysler models. Exclusive. Okay, so who else offers RXT?
Number one.
It's exclusive. Right. We don't have Honda. It's exclusive. So we have a lot of stuff, right? So this is what I'm trying to say here. So the competitors are offering less functionality, right? They don't offer 3-lock start on the Rams, for example. Now, this is a detail, but there are things, you know, that we do that are really, really important, you know, and this is one of the areas. So for Chrysler, we covered extremely well. We got the harnesses, we got the coverage. So the reality is we offer the best coverage, one of the top-selling brands in the world. We have the best opportunity for our resellers to target new cars, generate new dollars, right? So they can generate real dollars here. This is real. This is real. This is just one top-selling, one of our big 3. You walk in, there's no question, you could sell the hell out of this, whether you have Honda or Toyota or not. Okay, and that's what I'm trying to change. I'm trying to change the optic. Don't be single-minded focused, single-car focused, focus on the bigger picture, right? So full suite of the most popular GM models. Who knew that we covered almost all the 2014 models that are out on the road today? Now we covered 50% of the 2014 models not covered. Why don't we cover the other half? Why don't we cover the other half? Surprised Jed Tommy didn't get that. He's a little slow. He's tired. He's tired. He's getting old. You look like you're 20, Jed.
Thank you.
So we're equal in 2014 coverage to our competitors. That's the reality. Okay, so GM is a pretty big brand, right? There's, again, a few of these cars sold here and there, right? A couple of them. So we're equal. It's pretty exciting. We have a single T-harness solution supporting the broadest range of GM cars in the market. Did everybody know that? Everybody's seen our GM 690?
Our competitor uses too.
Our competitor uses too. Exactly. And they don't cover the same amount of cars. Look at that harness. Isn't that a beautiful harness? That covers.
Fabulous.
It's a fabulous harness. It's a tier 2 manufactured harness. We're going to get a little bit into our T harnesses in more detail when we cover that in our slides. But those are beautiful harnesses. So we have the broadest coverage of GM models with our T harness solutions in RSR. Pretty cool, right? Pretty exciting stuff. And what do we have? We have a exclusive RXT functionality with our GM plug-and-play OBD harness, right? There's a lot of stuff here, right? How many times have you guys gone in and sold Chrysler and GM? Just Chrysler and GM. They're pretty big brands, right? So again, what am I trying to tell you guys right now? I'm trying to tell you that it's not about one car. It's about all the cars. It's about, when we look at it holistically. You guys got to look at it holistically, and you got to convince your dealers to look at it holistically. It's about profit opportunity. It's not about a single car. One single car doesn't make the difference in your P&L. It's good covering a lot of cars, and with different trims and different options and different price points, that's going to make a difference in your P&L. And that's what we got to sell, and that's what we got to convey. So Ford, what do we do with Ford? This is the end of the big 3 here. We've got some pretty exciting releases. We released firmware for the MKS, push start, MKZs. RSR, again, that's our big thing. And we've got the Ford 3, which is, you know, for the edge. Now, you know, we've got the Explorers in there as well. All RSR, great stuff. We've got a T-harness coming down the pipe for these guys as well. These are online right now. And we're focusing on the balance of the Ford coverage. So that's probably the weakest hole, the biggest hole in our game. Go ahead.
Fusion?
We don't
We're
have
working
Fusion
on
yet.
it.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
What about Ford pickup trucks?
We've covered them. We cover every Ford pickup truck out there. We cover the Ford F-150. Not only do we cover the Ford pickup truck, what's our special feature on Ford pickup trucks?
80-bit.
Keep
It's
going.
got three letters. That we do exclusively with a single box solution.
PTS.
We do RSR on key type Ford trucks. Top selling truck in the world. Vehicle, you're right. Vehicle, right? Pretty popular.
Vehicle.
And what do we do exclusively with
RSR?
Thank you. Pretty exciting stuff, right? Cool? Are you getting where I'm going with this now? starting to see a trend, right? There's a pattern here somewhere. So let's just do a little comp, right? Where what have we learned so far? So we don't want you guys to have tunnel vision anymore. We want you guys to stop looking at it. Stop focusing on what we don't have. Focus on what we do have. Whenever a dealer tells you, well, you don't have this, you're right. You're right. We don't have that. But let me show you what we do have. And I'm going to show you some amazing tools to convince them. Okay? Statistically, we're going to give you tools to statistically show them the differences, the coverage map, what we look like, and how significant we are per brand. And that's what's going to make the difference. We want to change the focus. We want to get away from that. We want dealers to look at the bigger picture. Get them to understand that we're not selling a product. We're not selling a product. We're not selling a DVL. We're selling solutions. We're selling solutions, and we're selling functionality, and we're selling features. That's what we're selling. We're selling an experience for our customer. It's not about a DVL. It's about what we can sell and what we can do in these cars. And that's what they got to get focused on. It's about SmartStart connecting to these things. It's about the OBD data. It's about our analog coverage. It's about our passive keyless solutions. It's about our Bluetooth solutions. It's about everything. When you put them all together, what does it mean? There's no other manufacturer, distributor in the world that in 12-volt aftermarket that could do what we do as extensively as we do it. To add all these components together to create an ecosystem of products that service the aftermarket remote start and security market. Nobody does it. Nobody does that like us. So we got to get that. We got dealers to understand that. Now, yeah, you're right. The competitor does Honda right now. Very cool. Cool. But do they have SmartStart? Do they have all these other things? Do they create a full range of products that make you generate all the money you need to generate as a business owner? Does it? No. It's just a peripheral. It's just a part. We're not a part. We're an experience. Okay? It's very important. You guys got to believe that when you're selling it, because it's the truth.
We're a complete solution.
We're a complete solution.
Yeah.
Think of it holistically. Don't get caught wrapped around the axle when they tell you, because that happens every sales call. You're going to walk in and they're going to punch you right in the face with, you know, what you don't have. That's okay. We know that, right? We know that walking in. That's the advantage. Walking in, we know what we don't have. We're going to walk in, we got one car. I have one car. So, or 99%, right? Doesn't matter. Sell exclusive features like RXT. We got that. And what does RXT mean? It means profit. It means you can generate profits in an area where otherwise you wouldn't be able to generate profits with anybody else. That's what it means, and that's what sales is all about. Generating profits, creating sales opportunities. That's what it's about. It's not about a solution. It's about creating, selling what you have in the farm. Is that the fundamental rules of sales? Is it selling what you don't have or selling what you have, Jed?
What you have, Pete.
Thanks, Jed.
Give me the money.
I got a Canadian tuning somewhere. All right, so we got to underline our T-harness solutions. We have the biggest portfolio of T-harness solutions. That's the reality. So we got to go out and sell that too. That's again money. I'm going to show you how to sell those in a minute, but we provide a product ecosystem. Again, sell that. It's important, and you got to make the dealer see the light. You got to change them. You got to change them, man. Sales is work. Sales is work, especially sales work and interface. And if you lose that battle, you're going to lose the war because we're transitioning. We're seeing. What my first slide was all about is we see transitional growth in a category that's digital. You need to know how to do this. You're always going to be behind the 8 ball in some way or another with a car. You think our partner, you think our competitors aren't? You know, they're not saying, well, look, they released this thing and we don't have it. It happens. Believe me, I see it. I cover them. I follow them every single day. You know, so it's the same reality. You got to get away from that. Get away and get them thinking about how they're going to generate dollars when they buy our products. That's it. And I guarantee you, bet my bottom dollar, they can generate more profit with our product lines as a whole, not just our DVL as a whole, than they could with any other product that they have, including the ALC8, a magic little part. So, but beyond that, okay, we're going to go beyond that because that's all sales techniques and that's all just stuff. But statistically, let's cover that a little bit. Okay, let's look at that. So, we're going to look at our coverage metrics by year. So 2011, 2012, 2013, our coverage is pretty good, right? you can never be 100% with interface because there's a range of cars that you just simply cannot cover. You cannot support, okay, that we just don't cover in a digital solution. So I think about 90% from when we look at our database, about 90% of the cars in our database are realistically supported that we can do. There's a lot of cars in our database that are pure analog, so you just can't do them with a digital solution, so you don't cover them, right? So we don't count them, like a 1987 GMC Sierra truck. Nothing in there, right? But they're in our database. They exist. We use the same database as DirectWire. So that's why our metrics are non-skewed. They're very real. But this means, these numbers are real good. So if you look at the coverage metrics for the 2013 model years, they're pretty good. 93% of GMs, 55% of Fords, 100% of Chrysler. That's pretty good. Now, here's the newsflash. Our competitors' coverage is about the same thing. It's about the same thing for these cars. Pretty cool, right? So you got to know that when you're going in and sell your dealers. They don't have 20,000 more cars than we do. They don't do so many more things than we do. They do the same thing. Pretty much the same thing. So if all things are equal, and there's greater profit opportunity with us because we give you more range of functions, doesn't it make better sense to be working with us? Right? It's a good argument, right? Am I wrong? Does it not make sense? Does anything I say not make sense so far? Anything I say makes sense so far?
Yes.
All right, so that's where we are statistically. So what are the customers still complaining about? I said all that, then we should be good. We should end the meeting right here, right? We're good? Let's go grab some beers. Now, the reality is they're still complaining about coverage, right? They're saying, well, new model year support's not coming quick enough. We don't know. We don't understand. It's, competitors, this, that. We need consolidated installer resources. There's a lot of websites. It's confusing a little bit. We don't know where to go and get all the information. Our tech messages, well, we got 2 tech support levels. Sometimes I call Canada, I get this one message. I call US, I get this other message and stuff. And we want more innovations. The industry is suffering. We're struggling a little bit. We don't know where to go. We need your help. That's what they're asking for, right? Are dealers asking for your help? Are they asking you to help them? Are they all doing really well? Let's start there. Are all your dealers floating? They're on cloud 9. They're doing really, really well, exceeding sales.
No.
They're creating new opportunities for themselves. They're doing extremely well. No, they're not. They're not. They're struggling. And they don't know. A lot of 12-volt shop owners are not businessmen. They're men in business. Am I wrong? They're guys that just coincidentally transition from the install bay to the front of the store. That's what they are. They're guys that happen to be doing that, right? So they don't really know how to make the turn. They're counting on us, right? To help them navigate their way through the rocks, right? Get them to the other side so that they can survive. So they want more innovation. They don't know what innovation is. They just want more innovation. They want something to sell, right? So we're going to help you with that. We're going on that path. So we're going to talk about today our agenda. We're going to cover Express Start 1 with the status today and where we're going with that and how that transitions, what our reset plan looks like. Our hardware updates. We've got a couple of pieces of hardware that are going to come to market this year. We've got UT harness updates. Well, UT harness is pretty exciting. Web consolidation plan and our one team update, and Nan's going to come in and tell you a little bit about what we're doing in tech. So, Express Start 1, we'll start here. And I don't want to spend too much time on this, but Express Start 1, anybody not know what this is? Okay, great. So, Express Start 1 is our bundled solution. We put everything in the box. Does anybody remember why we put everything in the box instead of selling this thing a la carte? Come on.
An easier transition for our dealers. They're used to buying the whole solution in the box.
Exactly. That's a man that sells on the East Coast, my friend. So, exactly right. We wanted to sort of mitigate any concerns from dealers not understanding it, not being able to piece it together, us not being able to sort of fulfill that experience of how to tie the parts together. So we said, we'll put it all in the box. We'll create an equivalent to the analog and a DB all, and then we'll put a similar part number on it. We'll sell it to our dealers. Nice and easy, right? It makes it easier for the sales folks. It makes it easier for the installers. Now, there are some flaws in that strategy as well, right? There's a lot of cases where you don't need the relay pack, you don't need the remotes, you don't need all these other accessories. But to get out the gate, we thought it was a good idea conceptually to create some awareness. Now, we did trip and fall on our sword on this one because what we did do was we kitted it with old remotes. Anybody notice that?
Yes.
It kind of sucked, right? It was a big mistake. So, unfortunately, I got past me. I didn't even know we were kitting it with old remotes until we started shipping it. So we're shipping it. We're about 2 months into shipping it. And then we when I did our sales reports, the sales were down, and I asked why, and it was because the feedback I got from the sales folks was that we're using old remotes. So what I did was I pulled all the inventory, we ordered a bunch of cases, and we recased all the remotes, and we put them in the new cosmetics, not the next generation cosmetics, the new cosmetics that we're currently selling. So we rekitted. The rework was just finished a couple weeks back, so now we're putting these back into inventory, and they're going to be reshipping with new remotes. It's pretty exciting stuff. Now we can get out there and have new remotes. There shouldn't be any objections. Okay, so we're going to reset and we're going to go out with a new marketing plan. You're going to start to see this in a couple of weeks. Marketing's putting the plan together now. We're going to hit the reset button on this and relaunch. Okay, so that's pretty exciting stuff. So we'll get in the fall. We'll get in front of the dealers again. It gives us a reason to sort of get out there and repitch it and start talking about it again. I read this in one of the 721s that it was a novelty, or somebody had said that this part, the dealers are still considering this to be a bit of a novelty. And I'm going to tell you, there is, make no mistake, there's no novelty here. This is one of the most groundbreaking pieces of technology that we have. This is the consolidation strategy. This is the way we change the game. This is the way we change the game for every one of our dealers. This is the way we consolidate down to get a single piece of hardware into their base that supports every single car they need. Now, this is not an easy product to build either, because one of our claims to fame with this product is not that it's only a digital remote start, it's that it's an analog remote start. That's the big thing. It's not an easy thing to do, to create an analog remote start that supports all your RF, all the different features and functionalities. That's a very complex thing to do. Okay, so all that takes time. Then you couple to that all the firmwares that you need to do. All the firmwares and all the libraries, how they have to all work together seamlessly to make this all work. It's not a simple thing. So I brought our competitors piece because I think it's important that we know what's out there. So this is our competitors piece. It's called a iData Start, right? And this is our piece. So of course the Express Start 1, right? Very similar, right? In size. So some of the differences are, of course, we have more I/Os, we have a bigger chip. There are some differences. The real big difference is that they don't support anything analog. There's no analog support of this device. It could, I guess, at some point in the future, but they decided not to. So for now, they really cover some high-end boutique cars. So that's very unique. So they can't go in. They can't become, hey, Mr. Richardson, this is everything. That's all you need in your bag. Is that the truth?
Will it do analog?
It will not do analog.
Oh, no.
No, you need to carry all this other analog stuff over here. We
I don't
got
want
17 different SKUs for you. But how about this? That works with every single one of our RF kits, and it supports security and manual transmission, supports every car in analog, and also every car that our DBL supports.
Do you sell that in gross lots?
I'm trying to pass those two things
Do you know
around.
what
Right?
the price delta in those two is?
Right now, Jed, the price delta is extreme because, like I said, they're not selling them to cover the cars we do. They're selling them for boutique solutions, Mercedes and BMW. So the price on the BMW piece, I bought that piece. Anyone want to take a guess what that piece cost me?
700.
700 because I get some pretty good discount from the distributor. Their retail base price, their dealer base price is 1,250.
And that was the one for the BMW,
That was
or
one
the
for
Mercedes?
BMW. So it's and now the good news is that piece doesn't do BMW. This piece does BMW. That docks on top of it.
So who was saying it was $500?
No, he said upstairs it was 700 bucks.
Mercedes.
Okay, so that's pretty cool,
So
right?
now wait a minute, you said you bought that for $1,000?
No, I bought that for just under 700 bucks.
700 bucks.
Yeah, $1,250 is dealer price.
The gentleman from
Oh,
Miami
okay,
there
that's
was
not
saying
retail,
that
that's
he
dealer
gets
price.
people saying, it's sort of like a blade, that kind of thing.
Well, it's sort of like if you talk about a big plastic thing that Mr. Hernandez is trying to figure out. I don't want to train on their products, but they've got an expansion port that slides on top here, and they've got this big Oki thing that goes right on top and slides in here and supports BMW. Now, there's a lot of limitations there. So of course they don't support all the new BMWs because when they built it, they only built it with 2-channel high-speed CAN, but the new BMWs require 3-channel high-speed CAN. So there are some mistakes. There are some flaws in their game.
So Peter, how much does that extra BMW piece cost?
It's included in that price.
Oh, it
But
is.
that doesn't matter because BMW and Mercedes is not what we're going to talk about today. What we're talking about, we're comparing, is we're talking about the basic analog platform. We're talking about the basic device. So what we're talking about is how we can be a game changer in the industry, how we can change our dealers' landscape. They cannot, we can. Very important because you got to know that. So yes, they cover BMW and Audi and Mercedes with it, but they can't cover the cars that really make money. How many BMW sales are you gonna make? Really, realistically, how many are you gonna make? It just makes no sense. I have a BMW solution in our DBL, which is a $59 piece that you give up a key. You can use a service key. You put the same solution. You can do the same thing with a $59 solution instead of paying 700 bucks. So that's the reality of the game. But that's for BM. But what we're talking about here is analog coverage, and that's important. We don't want to lose sight of that because we're transformational. We want to get our dealers into a single box solution. I'll show you why as we progress further into PPT. But this is really important. This platform, you guys need to support it. You need to understand what it is. You need to understand that this is the base platform that will change the game, change the landscape for us and our dealers. There's no way, as we move forward in time, that we could support 100 different platforms and that we're going to be able to generate revenue that makes sense, that's sustainable. We got to create more functions on fewer pieces of hardware. That's always been the vision, and that's where we are. We're getting closer to that now. Okay, that's pretty exciting. It's a very exciting piece. It's a very important piece. The kitting of this piece is what we're going to discuss in a second. Okay, so these are all the different remotes. Of course, you've seen these. We have the different kits. I don't want to spend any time on this because we have a lot of material to cover, but I'm going to come back to what the DBL, the Express Start 1 in a second. So one of our new pieces of hardware is a DBL2. Everybody heard of the DBL2? Yeah. Okay. We'll probably start to see it in some trainings. I'm going to pass it around the room. A DBL2 is the next generation of DBL1s. Is it?
No.
Exactly right. It is. It is a DBL1. So it's a DBL1 with another high-speed transceiver. It has, the DBL1 has a fault-tolerant and a high-speed transceiver, meaning it can connect to two different types of data buses. Okay. The problem is, the automakers are starting to transition. Instead of using multiple types of buses, single wire, fault-tolerant, high-speed, they're all migrating towards high-speed. Okay. So what that means is they got multiple buses, like multiple channels, right? One channel is for their engine management. One channel is for security. One channel is for convenience. One channel is for OBD data. They're different, right? So in order for us to connect, one of the most important objectives for us is to push data up to the cloud, right? We've got to pull stuff off the bus and push it to the cloud. So if we're using a high-speed bus to do bypass, for example, if we only have one high-speed output, then, or one high-speed controller, we can only use one bus. So what we did on the DBL2, we wanted to make sure that we're always pushing information to the cloud. We added a second high-speed transceiver. We took out our fault-tolerant, and we put a high-speed. So they could still run all the old buses, but now we can run two parallel high-speed buses. But it's a nuance, because there are very few cases right now in the short term, that really warrant you paying more money for a DBL2 to get. Okay? One example would be the new Chryslers that we released. To get heated seats, you would have to get a DBL2. Okay? So that's a tough case to make to a dealer, say when you want them to buy a part that sells for now $4 more than a DBL1, right? Well, you know, it's got this new piece, and, you know, this kind of stuff, I'm not sure really what it does. It gives you heated seats, but it's $4 more. The dealer goes, wow, I'll stick with the one. And you know what? That's what we want. Honestly, this is not a hard sell. This is a part that's a go-forward piece for us. We're continuing to build DBL1s. We're going to build them right through to the end of the year, right to January. There's a very important part that you introduce to your dealers. They should keep in stock for sure. They should have a few of them because we're going to expand on the functionality. For example, we're going to release a BMW firmware in the next month or two, and that BMW firmware will require DBL2. It's a small subset of customers going to buy it, but they need a DBL2.
You said this will be shipping when?
And then be shipping somewhere in September.
So we will have a more of a BMW solution.
We have a BMW solution right now. We just have it up until 2013.
Right.
Our coverage map for BMW 3, which has been online, RSR, for a while, but we don't cover 214s. Why? Because everybody want to take a guess why we don't cover 214s?
Because you need
Ah,
the
yeah.
3 high-speed shipping.
Well, yeah.
Enter DBL2, ladies and gentlemen. Yay! Okay,
There's a
so
point, Peter, just if I can just interrupt for
Go
a
ahead.
second to understand. I just read something this week. As the president of Dana Corporation, which you all know supplies a lot of electronics to all the OEMs. At 15% of the cost of a vehicle in 2007 was electronics and data and technology, and it's approaching 40% of the cost of the vehicle now. So that's how much it's changed since 2007 to 2013. So the challenges and the things for your customer to understand is that the vehicles are becoming very complex, but the technology is becoming a very, very integral and very costly part. When you're talking almost 40% of the cost of the vehicle is the electronics and technology in a car.
absolutely.
It's pretty
That's-
amazing, and that's 2007, 2013 is not a lot of time.
Nope, it's a rapid transition. They're transitioning extremely quickly. So it's stuff that we need to be in front of, so we spend a lot of time doing that. We try to be a little forward thinking when we develop these platforms. That's why we're going out with DBL2 Pro where we are, DBL2 where we are. Now, when I said it's a soft sell, what that means is you're walking into your dealers, you want to explain this to them, you want to educate them, you want them to understand why we've created this new platform. Now, what I didn't want to do is I didn't want to have a DBL1 Rev 2. That was going to be confusing. Why? Because you need to manage dual sets of guides, dual sets of firmwares. They got to know, they got to keep an old one, a new one. When they're calling in tech, there's going to be a lot of confusion. So I said, you know what? Just to keep it simple, have a nice clean line in the sand. We're going to create a DBL2. It looks different. It gives me the opportunity to retool the case, as you can see from the sample going around. It looks like a
Start one.
right. So it's a little family of products, right? That's what it looks like. So that's what we did. So this is going to be shipping real soon. That's really the difference. Now, what are dealers going to tell you? You're going to go in and say, I got a DBL2. Well, you know, your track record director, we're going to stay away from that DBL2 until you guys prove it. Until it's proven, right? What's your rebuttal going to be?
Same
Yeah,
case.
DBL1.
Same thing, man. Open it up, dude.
Case.
Open it up, man. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Took a transceiver, we changed the BOM, we changed a line item and a BOM. It's basically the transceiver is drop in, same footprint. So it's the exact same product. There is no difference. Okay, so you got to make sure they know that. But we are charging more money for it, and you got to explain why. Okay, because we're adding more functionality, but we don't want everybody to transition to DBL2. We're building a lot of DBL1s. We want to sell through those this year. I'd rather not sell as many DBL2s as per plan. I'd rather sell a lot of DBL1s. Okay, that get us down to 0, tar us down. My reset point is January 1st. By January 1st, I expect to be near out of DBL1s, and we're going to be full into DBL2s. Now, I'll let you know a little secret. I'll probably reduce the price thereafter once we're out of DBL1s to meet the price of $59. Make sense?
Yep.
Is that logical transition plan?
Yes.
Yeah?
Here's
Okay.
the future functionality part, here's a part, and now look at what's on the future functionality part. Hey, I'm gonna start buying some of those.
Right. Give them a choice. Manage the choice. Manage the
To
transition.
get comfortable with it.
Right. Exactly right. Okay, so we're good.
As long as the inventory stays, that all meshes.
It all, hopefully. It should be good. All right. So DBL2 Pro, what the hell is this thing? How did that slide get in there? That's pretty interesting. All right, so what is that, right? I want to take a kick at what this is.
Oh,
Strip
well, the
down-
card,
strip
they
down
do
version
it
of
all
this
the
or-
time.
Any transmission?
Strip down
Brain
version of
or
the
the-
RF
It's a stripped down version, okay? It's like a bigger DBL, right? So we've taken Express Star 1 brain. Remember what the original plan, the original go-to-market strategy was to sell this part a la carte, right? Well, we were concerned, right, with dealer transitions, dealer acceptance, and how they would understand what it does, what it is, and where do we go with it. So what we did was we said, you know what, let's take it easy, let's go out with kitted solutions and Express Start 1, and we'll circle back to this. We circled back, right? So we're going to take this kit right now, we're putting it in a box that looks exactly like a DBL except bigger, and box and sleeve, and it comes with the wiring harness, it comes with the main brain, the wiring harness, and an install accessory kit, which includes a hood switch, warning label, and basically just the installer kit that they would need to put it in the car. So there's no RF, it works 3-lock start, there's no relay pack, but we do give you, which is kind of cool, because there's going to be a lot of cases where they might need a relay or two externally. So instead of having to buy a relay pack, we give you a little harness that comes off the relay pack connector that's give you loose wires so you can use a relay externally. So that's pretty cool for installers, right? So now they can dollar cost average each install down, maximize their profit. Very good. Maximize their profit. They're not captive to what's in the box that they don't need. They can decide per car how to maximize their profit based on what the customer wants to buy, right? Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. That's a pretty cool new part. It's not new. It's a new part number. Okay, so what we're doing is we're going to try to get this out somewhere in October. The only reason is packaging, and packaging exercise sometimes does take long. There's no technology here. We're taking a kit that we already manufactured and putting it in a different box and putting it out to market.
So then are we gonna put back on the price list a full array of RF kits?
We are going to put a full array of RF kit.
Yeah.
That's a great question. Actually, the way we're going to manage our RF kit transition is we're only going to make RF kits for new next generation RF.
Okay.
Okay, so we're
The
going to
new ones,
the
yeah.
new ones, yeah.
With the new antenna.
The new, yeah, exactly. So I don't know if you guys been into Viper training, you've probably not, but or James is training, but he's going to talk a little bit about the next generation remotes, and we're going to make RF kits out of those. Okay, so they should line up because we're going to be they're both scheduled. That's why I'm staggering the release to October, so that they both start shipping in October. Okay, so that the dealers we're going to do this really nice dealer assistance sales book, which actually has it's multi-page, I think 4 or 5 pages, and it has like the accessories, what accessories you need for the different groups, and then all the different remote kits and all that kind of stuff. So it should be real easy. We're going to relaunch this. When we launch it, you're going to get the launch package. Should help you.
Just with the name, right, so Express Start 1 fades away, you end up future DBL2 Pro.
I got a grid to cover that off, so okay, because I'm going to help you sell this because I think it gets confusing on what to sell. So we're going to cover that in this 1 second, okay? So what does our transition plan look like? I'm going to go through this real quick. We have the Express Start 1 bundled kits. They're bundled, they're kits, they're all there, they exist today. They're going to be ongoing. We're going to keep them going for as long as they sell. My feeling is sales will decline and sales will transition to the DBL2 Pro. As dealers start to understand it better, I think they might end up just stop buying it. And that's what we want. We want a slow, progressive decline in sales in the first part, transition to the second part. It's easier for us to manage, okay? And then we have a DBL, which is going to be ongoing all the way to January. We're going to keep going. January 1st is our cutoff point. If it goes as planned, we should be at 0. And then we're going to transition to the DBL2 Pro. But don't worry, there's no risk. Yes, it costs more money today for a DBL2, but if I run out of products of DBL1s in December, is it a big problem? It's really not. I just transition to DBL2 and I readjust the price. I'll adjust the price when we run out of inventory of DBL1s. Make sense? Don't be concerned. We've got plenty of inventory. So this is kind of the money shot. Doesn't look like much, but it really is the money shot. This is where you guys should print, learn, understand, regurgitate. It's a very important slide. This is our digital portfolio, okay? Sometimes it gets confusing with, you know, the different products and how do we do it and what are the parts that we have to sell to our customer. What should I be, you know, it's a whole digital transition. I really don't know what to sell. I'm gonna stick with analog, right? So the reality is what we wanna do here is we wanna show you that 2 platforms cover everything the dealer could possibly ever need. We've got really a DVL2 Pro, we've got a DVL. Let's go through them a little bit, okay? On the far right here is our Express Start 1 bundles, okay? This is a bundle. The only difference between the far right and the middle column is the far right is bundled in a complete kit, the one in the middle is not, it's a la carte. So we'll go through them, because it's a very important sales. Very important for sales to understand where do you step in the customer. Customer walks through your door, what are they always walking in on? What do they want when they're coming in? They want the lowest price, exactly. How are we gonna get them in? We're gonna put a big sign out front of our store, remote start, $99 installed. How are we gonna do that? Or $79 installed if you're in Bob's Market, right? Actually, $49 installed. So the good thing is, we've got a DVL, right? RSR. For the most part, it works. Covers a hell of a lot of cars. More cars than anybody. We already covered that off, right? So 1,500 cars in RSR. We got that. It goes in the car. Most opportunity. Covers most of the cars walking in your door. Cheap, cheap, cheap. What does it not do? It doesn't do manual transmission. It doesn't do security. Come on, guys.
There you go.
Come on, guys. It doesn't do security. Exactly. Dude, guys, man. All right, doesn't do security, doesn't do manual transmission, right? That's a great opportunity to step up the customer, right? Right? Well, you know, yeah, that's great. I want my $79 starter, but I also want security, damn it, and my car's manual. Well, that's great. So let's step you up, right? Let's take you up on the DVL2 Pro. So we got logical step points, right? You got $59, we got $99, and then you got bundled kits, which of course is justified by the fact that you have remotes and shock sensors and all that great stuff in the box, right? So 2 very good price points, good steps, $59.99, but you get what you get. You get manual trans, you get full security. You don't get security feature, you get full ass security. Full on Viper security, right? Pretty exciting. So let's go through it. So, what is a DVL2? It's an interface with RSR and RxD. Very basic remote start. Doesn't have a lot of features. If you look at our remote start feature set, it's very limited. What is a DVL2 Pro? It's not an interface. You cannot use it as an interface. It's a DVL2, it's a digital remote starter. That's the difference. When it's sold a la carte, it's a digital remote starter. I'm not even claiming that it's an analog remote starter because I have a relay pack that comes with it. You can add relays externally, but it's not. Out of the box, I'm positioning that as a digital remote starter. So you've got an interface that happens to do some remote start. You've got a digital remote starter, and then you've got a complete bundle that does the both, right? Analog and digital remote start. Does that make sense? Does that make sense as a lineup when it's sitting in your store? So you should have 3. Now imagine your stockroom. You've got a DVL, you've got a DVL2 Pro, and you've got these kitted solutions. So when you're walking your stockroom, it should make perfect sense, shouldn't it? It should crystallize for the dealer what our digital portfolio looks like. The branding, what's supported in terms of security, manual transmission support, 3-lock start, external control. Who knows what the number of external control options means?
The data ports?
Sort of, yeah. It's how many things we can control, how many peripherals we can have externally. Right. Can we have Smart Start, we can have RF, and all those great things. So basically with DVL, we only have 1. And of course with DVL2 Pro, we have an RF port, dedicated RF port, so that's used for RF, and then we have a D2D port that we use for peripheral like Smart Start. That's pretty exciting there, so you can add more features and more functionality, more opportunity for upsells. So when you step the customer up to a DVL2 Pro, which everybody should, right? Any good, self-respecting dealer is going to use a loss leader to get the customer in the door, with a $40, $59 plug-and-play remote start. And then he's going to step them through. Well, you need security, and then you want to add another peripheral. Then we're going to step them up. We're going to get that guy up to a price point, to an ASP that resembles what they would have sold him historically with analog technology, right? Any good salesman, remember, most installers, most shop owners are men in business. So it's up to you guys to educate them. You guys are the professionals. You know how to sell, right? So you got to get in there and educate them and make them understand this grid, so they can sell. If they understand this and you understand this, you'll see your profit opportunities go up. You're going to see their profit opportunities go up. They're going to create opportunities of sales just based on this. Very important. OBDCAN, vehicle coverage. Who wants to guess why we claim only 3,500 cars covered and our competitors claim about 4,200 cars? Anybody want to guess? Joel Gomez?
They're lying.
They're not lying. Joel?
It wouldn't be fun if I answered it.
All right. So I'll answer it. Okay. Well, the reality is they break out their database by trim. So it's a Honda Accord 2-door, 4-cylinder. Honda Accord 4-door, 4-cylinder. Honda Accord automatic 4-cylinder. Honda Accord manual 4-cylinder. It's ridiculous. It's the same car. It's the same car. There's really 2 trim levels. Smart key, not smart key. And simple enough. So our database is genuine. Our database is broken down to 2 trims. Theirs is not. So when you're going in a dealer, you're going to go into your dealer. I want to sell you my DBL. Yeah, but you only covered 3,500 cars. Dude, you suck, man. Those guys covering 4,200 cars, man. You suck. Take them to the web. Take them to the web. Open both sites and show them. Look at the trim levels. You get one car that could have 7 or 8 different trim levels. This is ridiculous. So if you multiply that times, you actually get to a number that's actually our coverage is higher. Right? So we don't claim that. We're claiming statistically we're about the same. I said that. But you got to know that because that's one of the objections you're going to hit.
Yeah.
You got to know this stuff. You're going to be faced with those objections. You suck. Nice. Know how to sell against it. Very important, okay? You can never be stumped. As soon as you stump, you walk out of there with your tail between your legs, your sale is done. You're done. You're gone. It's finished. So, T-harnesses available? Yes, 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 right? T-harnesses is one of our key initiatives, right? It helps. I'm going to show you what we're doing in terms of merchandising. I got a whole new merchandising approach to selling this product, selling this category, so I think it's real important that T-harnesses, you know, that we continue to evolve and continue to get T-harnesses out there for our solutions as quickly as we can. These are our T-harness solutions that are in the barn today. Everybody always asks me, what T-harnesses do we support? Seems there's confusion around here. So these are what's in the barn. This presentation is in Dropbox. You guys all have all access to this. We're shipping these. We're currently shipping these harnesses. Clear?
Yeah.
Everybody knows these harnesses? Everybody familiar with the harnesses?
Yep.
Very familiar with the quality of our harnesses? Everybody seen our GM harness? Pass it around before, I think.
Here, here.
Right here.
It's right there.
No, that's the OBD
Right here,
harness.
right here, Peter.
There you go. You can pass it around. Okay.
Yeah.
That
I
harness.
think it was passed around.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
I want you guys to pay special attention to that harness, and when you're walking into your dealers, just all of our harnesses. They all use snakeskin. We don't use rigid plastic as a shielding, which is really important because rigid plastic is very inexpensive. This is very expensive snakeskin, but this is very OEM. So the fact of the matter is we have a higher quality harness than our competitors. We spent a lot of time on this. Yes, 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 we stumbled out of the gate when we released our Chrysler harnesses. We tried to be price sensitive. We really wanted to get the cheapest harness out there, and that's really not a good answer when you're doing T-harnessing. You're splitting a factory connection. What does that mean? You're taking a factory connection that an OEM spent an unbelievable amount of money engineering to connect these 2 points together with some type of cabling and connector systems. We're going to get in there, we're going to chop in there, we're going to add a $8 or $10 harness. Woo! So if you're not building a harness that's got the quality, a tier 1 or tier 2 quality rating, if you're don't have the connection pins that meet or exceed OEM, you're going to have problems, right? So this is very important when you're selling your dealers. Yes, our harnesses are expensive. Our new harnesses are progressively more expensive, right? Our GM harness is not cheap, right? What are some of the benefits? Bob, how would you sell our GM harness?
Our GMT harness?
Yeah.
Well, look at this. This thing is like a quality piece. This is what GM would put out
Factory
themselves.
owned.
Exactly. It's got a valet switch built onto it. Pretty cool, right? And what does it do that's unique that our competitors don't do?
RSR.
RSR. And we cover 2 types.
The one copy.
2 types. Right?
And it's exclusive in some cases.
Exactly. So that's pretty exciting stuff, right? So we do spend a lot of time. We understand that that's an important part of our value proposition to our dealers. So you really got to drive that home. We spend a lot of time on our T-harnesses. We've got the biggest portfolio of T-harnesses, so it's important. This is what's shipping. Okay, so we have it. This is what's coming. Okay, because we understand that, like I said, for the DBL 2 Pro or the Express Start 1, we do need T-harnesses as well, right? It's as important or more so. So we've got T-harnesses coming, so how do you tell the difference, right? So you've got a C and a D. What does that mean? So this is for our XK09, I guess. Is it? Guys, you sleeping? It's for CM800, right? And this is for? DBL. Excellent. Good. So you should see that. So very similar part numbers. There's 1 letter distinction between both part numbers. One is D for DBL, one is C for CM800. Clear? So what do we have coming? We have these guys are all coming because they're for the CM800. Okay, so these are all existing harnesses for DBL today, but they're coming. They're being transitioned right now, and they're all going to be shipping within the next few weeks. They've been in production for a long time, so they're in various stages. They're on the water, or they're coming in, or they're all around the corner. So we'll be shipping these in September. Put their hand up. Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, why the 2 T harnesses? Why not set it up so that we had 1 T harness that would work the DBL and the Express Start?
It's a good question. Well, when we staggered the production, and at one point, believe it or not, the business had decided to kill the CM800 project, so they went separate ways. So when we revived the project, they still had separate harnesses. Currently, the DBL harness and the CM800 harness are not the same. They look similar, but they're not the same. So if we wanted to have one T-harness to support both types, we'd have to put both heads. Okay, so it would have created a very, a lot of extra heads on the harnesses that wouldn't be used, and extra cost. So we opted to have two T-harnesses. And again, we're transitioning. So within the next year, when we probably for next season, we're going to try to consolidate the harnesses down. We're going to try. If we can get to that next year, then we'll re-release harnesses that match, that are single solution. Okay? And in some cases, the wiring is different, right? Because when you're getting into an analog application with our T-harnesses, you just have wires that we'd support off the T-harness that you wouldn't support with DBL.
Right.
Okay. Fair enough? So you've got these harnesses. You've got a couple more coming. So you've got Ford. And you got the Chrysler third generation. So these are the harnesses right here. So this is Chrysler and this is Ford. So I'm going to pass these around the room. This is the Ford one here. This is the Chrysler. So Chrysler is for the third generation. So all the 2013 up Jeep, Cherokees, and Rams, and the Dart. So those are that's the one that Bob has, and this one over here is for Ford. So all the Ford series trucks. It's kind of I think we covered this. Ford is a bit of a popular truck. So the F-Series, and this is what this does, and what do we cover exclusively on Fords with this harness? Of course, RSR. So again, opportunity. Those are going to be shipping in September, October. The Chrysler harness right here is on the water right now. We're expecting it in probably the second week of September, second or third week should be turned around and shipping out to you guys. Okay, the Ford probably somewhere in October. Now it's in production. It's just the time that it takes to transit from China. Any questions on T-harnesses? No? None? All right, good. Perfect. So our web consolidation plan. We had some feedback, right, from our dealers telling us that, the resources were difficult to manage. They were in a couple different places and a little bit confused. And DirectX is, we have to have these both sites open. So we had a couple actions in play. One was to consolidate our website, so it's a web consolidation strategy. And we also wanted to change all our merchandising approach to how we sell remote starts. Okay, so there's three different things happening. Because there's also a brand consolidation strategy where Express Kit will eventually be collapsed. But for this year, we're collapsing the sites, right? We're consolidating them together. I'm going to show you a little bit more. We're going to do a live demo in a second. But more importantly, what I'm going to show you is the merchandising approach. How we want to sell remote start, how we want to sell this technology, remote start or integrated technology, digital technology. How do we want dealers to understand it? What's the message, right? So we're going to show you what that means. So, okay. So what have we done? So we've collapsed the site, covered this, incorporated all the elements. We moved the forums over. We moved our tech support, the direct wire database over. We've got an entirely new search concept. It's really, really cool. I'm going to show you what that is. Provides detailed coverage metrics. We're going to give you some support because, again, like I said in the first slides, we want to be brand specific. We want to help you guys get into not what we don't have, but focus on what we do have, right? So how do we focus on what we have? We got to know what we have. We got to know support. So you can go in and be opportunistic, right? You can go in and focus and target specific cars or target specific models and know what value proposition we bring. So what you should be selling, right? We want to clean it up, make it easier to use, and we want to make sure all our passwords work, right? A lot of the customers are complaining, well, I log into the forum, it logs me out, I log into DirectWire, it logs me out, all that crap. We're going to merge together, you log in once, you're done. You're done, you're logged in for 6 months. Right? So we're planning to launch this new site in September, but I'm going to show you it right now. So the demo didn't work really well last time, so I'm going to do it from here. So, bear with me 30 seconds here. Okay, so this is the new site. Pretty cool, right? That's it? Just Jed? He's excited about it?
Clean.
That's awesome.
All right, so of course we've
Covered by brands.
I'm going to show you what that means. So this is pretty cool because we've done a lot here. There's a lot you don't see. But we've taken all the, of course, key elements, DirectWire, our knowledge base, our technical elements, our forms, and we put them right here. This really easy control panel, we call it. And here are the coverage maps for RSR and RxT, key to go access, the Express Start Wizard. So within this little pane right here are all the installed resources that they would need, right? Then we went down here and we added this little report. So this is what we call the dashboard.
Oh, that's such a cool
Okay.
thing.
So this here, yeah, absolutely. So this here is called the dashboard, right? The dashboard is the newest cars that we've added to our interface coverage right here. There are links. The latest vehicles added to DirectWire, our latest forum posts, our latest knowledge base entries, and our technical alerts, and of course our RSS feed, which we try to alert our customers of anything that's new or important or something that we think our installers should know about.
Very nice.
Okay? It's really important stuff.
Very.
So this, they come onto the site, they don't have to go anywhere else. Pretty much any resource our installers should need are right there, right in front of them, right? They don't have to go anywhere else, right at a glance, they don't have to click on anything. That's what we wanted. Now our banners, you see we're taking a different approach on the banners as well. Historically, we've had these banners that have, the cars on them, some taglines and some stuff. They've been confusing, they're not consistent, they changed the color scope. So it's been a little bit hokey, in my opinion. So what we did was we came up with this new concept. Actually, Alex and I came up with this, and we think it's the right approach. Is we've got these manufacturers' links, banners that are never going to change. They just scroll through every manufacturer. They scroll through. There's a time base on them. They scroll through it about 2 seconds right now, unless there's something new. If there's something new, they pause on the banner. It sits there a little bit longer. When it sits there right now, this is a dev site. There's still some changes being made. This is red, and it'll flash. Okay, that little part that's white right now, if there's something new for, let's say, Toyota, that little white link is going to be red, and it's going to be flashing. And it's going to be like, yeah, come in here, there's something new. So we can click on that banner, we can go in, and we can get the visibility of what it is. What exactly are you trying to tell us that's new under Honda, or under Toyota, or under Mazda? Now, we're taking it a step further, okay? So of course we know the historical search is always here. So we put that right there, make model year, start there, that's what it is. We haven't changed that. But we got this whole new thing over here. What the hell is that? It's kind of different. So what I said is about opportunity selling. I want to change the way we sell this category, right? I want to change the fact that we're tunnel visioning on one car. Saying, oh, we don't have Honda, we're turning around, walking out the door, tail between our legs, we can't make the sale, we suck, right? It's not the case. There's tons of opportunity, tons of upsell opportunity. We just got to learn it, right? So what do? What do we create, right? Because we always ask, well, what do we cover in Mazda? What do we cover in Toyota? What do we cover in Chrysler? I don't know. So let's say you're going to visit a Chrysler dealer. You're making a call. What is one of our key initiatives? CAT, right? CAT. One of our key initiatives. So let's say.
Oh, sorry.
You say a cat, you're like, yeah. Oh, good. All right. So what we did was we want to create a tool that you as a salesman can go and resource before you walk into your dealership. Right, Jen?
Yep.
If you're going to go call on Chryslers today, I'm going to be prepared. You know what? I'm going to go onto the website, I'm going to click on Chrysler, and I'm going to say what's covered. So what are we showing?
That's
What are we showing
beautiful.
here? So we're showing you overall coverage. I know it's hard to see, but here, these are the model years right across the top. Here are the products, and we obviously have these 3 install types: standard install, RSR, and RXT. And then we've got the metrics. What's supported for that model year by that product in that configuration? Is that clear?
Yep.
Is that pretty cool?
Beautiful.
Right? So you know that walking into Chrysler, we've got our model years that are supported overall are 100%, pretty much for all these years. So we're good to go. So walking into Chrysler, we're pretty confident, right? You walk in there, balls to the wall. There's no way that anybody's going to say, "Oh, you don't cover that." Well, we're good. We cover that, right? What do we offer? What amount of those cars offer an OEM remote start? Because that's important too, right? Because what did we say before? There's an opportunity here. What can we sell if they have a remote start? What can
Very
we
low.
Really?
Very low percent. If they have remote start,
Yeah.
RXT and RXM.
We could use a T-harness there
And
too,
Smart
right? What did
Start.
we learn? We could learn that we could plug in a T-harness in the OBD2 connector and a Chrysler. We could plug in a Smart Start. So we have 33%. One would look at that and say cup half empty. We're going to look at it and say cup half full. There's 33% opportunity to sell RXT with a Smart Start. Easier install, dude. It's easier upgrade. Your car washer can do it, man. Your car washer in the bay can do it. He can do it in the parking lot while the customer is waiting to take possession of his car. We don't need to prepare this car. There's no complicated install. We can do it in the parking lot. There's not. So this is not a downside. This is an upside. So good. I'm equipped. So now I'm ready. I'm getting fired up. Right? I'm going to call him Chrysler today. Good God, I'm going to sell the hell out of him. Right? So we want to know. Right? So now we're going to go over here. We're going to say, well, okay, I get it, Pete, but what cars are RXT compatible? Well, let's click on that. Let's have a look. Oh, these ones here. Cool. Well, what cars are RSR? Same thing, because we're in Chrysler. Well, what cars are standard? Okay, got it. So we're going to say that in those trim levels, we cover all those. So let's go back and let's select something with more variability. Let's go select GM. Go back and select Chevrolet. There you go. There's Chevrolet. So you have more variability here because in some cases, you only have, the metrics are a little bit different. But let's look at here, DVL RSR. So we got all these cars. So we're gonna bring one up. We're gonna say we want to flash a Cruise, or we want to know a little bit more about a Cruise, right? So those are the cars we know. So it's pretty easy, right? You can go in there very targeted. You don't have to ever send an email to anybody. You go on the website. You know you're going to call on GM. You go and do your research on the website. You walk into the car dealership. You know beforehand what you're going to sell them. You should have your bundles ready, your T-harness ready. You know, we're going in. We're going to go. We're going to sell these guys. We're going to sell these guys. We're going to close these guys, right, David?
Absolutely.
You think this is good, David?
This is beautiful. It's elegant.
This
It's
will help our
amazing.
salespeople?
Yeah. It should, absolutely.
All right, good.
So Peter, question for you. You said that Express Kits is going away, so you're just gonna be logging in to DirectX then?
Correct. This
And all-
DirectX.
This is DirectX then?
The-
Yeah,
The
exactly.
only problem with that is most of our accounts, the installers are all set up for access, but the salespeople mostly aren't. And the salespeople we've trained over the years to go to Express Kit when they're talking to a customer to get some basic information, and a lot of times they'll take the customer there and go there with them
Right.
in the sales presentation, and now they won't have access to that.
Well, they will have access.
Yeah, it redirects it
Yeah.
to the site.
We
So they won't need a DirectX password to
They-
get into
every
the basic
password-
site?
every password that they currently have is functional. So every DirectX.
The
if you-
salespeople don't usually
They
have
don't need-
direct
They don't need
access.
to this site is wide open. Okay, I'm gonna explain.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Let me explain.
Okay.
We have a web. Actually, Joel and I are partners on this one. We have a very large web consolidation strategy. We have a very, very big web project
Okay.
going on. So part of this, what you see on the front end, we'll say is tip of the iceberg, if you will. Okay, so what you see right now is really the smallest element of what we're changing. We're recreating a whole back end, a whole bunch of cloud services that are going to change the way we sell the product. There are 3 levels of customer. Everybody want to guess who they are, Joel? That's the hell. We have the installer, right? Back of the house.
Right.
We have the dealer, shop principal, front of the house, right? And then we have the third customer group is the
Sales
Yeah.
side.
consumer. No, the
Oh,
front of the
the
house is
consumer.
our sales folks. We have the
Yeah.
consumer. So we have 3 buckets of customers. Okay, we got to focus on them. We got to separate them. Right now it's all muddy. Our consumers are going to Express Kit and they're seeing what's up there. They're saying, wait a minute, plug and play or solutions, harnesses. We want to separate that. We want to insulate the customer. We want to insulate the consumer from what they're seeing on the installer level. We want to create sales tools for the people on the sales floor. So we want to create some separation. So we want to make it an industry site. We want to create a sales site, and we want to create a consumer site, right? But on the consumer site, it's very different today, right? They go vehicle lookup. This is what they get. What the hell is this? I'm a consumer. My mom wouldn't know what this is. She'd be freaking confused as hell. You're like, oh, that's cool. Right. All right. So I still got to go to a store, right? So we want to change that experience, right? We want to create some tools on the consumer-facing sites that allow our customers, and we're running out of time for this year, so that probably won't happen, but we're building out the back end to be able to support this. So all these calls will be stuff that we can feed the different sites on. So we started on the 2013 initiative, what we're releasing. We're starting with the first customer group being the installer. We want to capture the hearts and minds of our installers. That's what we're focusing on in 2013. So everything else that we're building out, we have something on the consumer site. It's called the Consumer Profiler. So eventually we're going to release a tool that consumers can go on the consumer site, type in select some specific data points. You know, what kind of car you have, what's your driving habits, if you're male or female, your zip code. We're going to go out and we're going to get a bunch of information on the cloud, crime rates, fuel prices, weather, climate patterns. We're going to take that, we're going to bundle it all together. We put it in this little engine that we built that we call it a fuzzy logic engine that comes up and it's going to spit out the best features for you. Because what do we want to do? We want to sell features. We want to sell hardware. Consumer doesn't give a crap about hardware. A DB-all with an XYZ. Yay. What the hell? That's crap. It doesn't mean nothing to me. What means something to me is something that'll emotionally connect with me, right? So I'm a mom, I drive a lot, my car's out of warranty. Well, it'll be interesting. Maybe Smart Start roadside assistance, right? That'd be pretty cool, right? Maybe DTC notifications, right? Schedule reminders. That'd be pretty cool, right? A remote start if you live in the cold, right? With long range because you live far from it. You know, all that kind of stuff that we're going to try to pattern together and create features for consumers so they understand what to buy. And then beyond that, we're going to create some bombs. We're going to filter that down to the dealer so he understands when the customer comes back in, they can type in their email, and they say, oh, get it. All this stuff is what you profiled on the website, so I have all that stuff in stock. We're going to get those features onto your car. You get it? It's a different shopping experience. I'm going to show you, but we're building backwards now. We're going to start with the back of the house. Because that stuff is coming. It's going to come next year, but for now, this year, we're starting with the installer. We think that's the most important customer group to start with. The installer, we get those guys on our side, give them the tools they need. It's a pretty exciting tool. We're going to show you. But we're going to get those guys on our side, and then we're going to push forward. Okay? So we think this is a great tool. Now, the front of the house can use this tool in the interim, right? They can use it this year. We're still going to block out access to DirectX. You know, you got to have a password. You got to log in, but it's the same password. the forum, same thing, you gotta log in, but it's the same password, which is great, so nothing changes in that regard, so our dealers don't have to relearn anything. For any big box accounts, all their IPs are configured, it's automatic, it stays the same, nothing changes. So the transition will be very, very smooth. There's no bumps here in terms of, well, it's a new site, it's completely different. The reality is, it's a new site, but it's built on a current site. Okay, we just changed out the way it looks. Okay? So does that make sense, you guys?
Yep.
Okay. So that's kind of what we're talking about. Now I just want to show you one little tool because I get this a lot. Vehicle application guides. A lot of people ask me about coverage, right? So we do have the coverage map, but now if you want to generate something to print, this is a cool tool. So you can come in here and you can select, let's say, upgradable. I got this question very recently, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So.
We went through this this morning.
Oh, you did? Okay. So I won't do it again. Sorry.
Does anybody?
We're fast learners, so.
Okay, so I'm gonna skip off this one. Okay, so everybody think New DirectTech is a cool site?
Yeah.
Yeah? You think it's gonna help our dealers?
Yeah.
Sure.
Consolidate the resources? Cool. Do you like the layout? You like the look?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty clear, right?
Less busy.
Does anyone find that banner goes too fast? It's distracting.
You know what's cool is we have on this page here, when you're on this page, the banner right now it's under construction, but the banner disappeared. But we're gonna, where it says Chevrolet there, it's the banner that you saw on the front page actually is gonna appear there, but it's split in two. So it's half static, half dynamic. So the static part moves over to the left and it maintains the manufacturer's logo. Let's say you're on Toyota, it's gonna maintain the manufacturer's Toyota logo. And on the right side, what it does is it scrolls through the different accessories for that car. T-harnesses.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay. So you'll be able to click on that, or any manufacturer-specific kits, you'll be able to click on that and view, and yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing, guys.
Might sell something now.
All right, that's exciting.
Great. Okay, so our web recap, what did we learn? Our web's designed around creating awareness, right? Around manufacturer-specific solutions, right? That's what we want to do. We want to change the way our installers sell stuff, right? We want to change it a little bit. We're going to change the way they merchandise this category in their stores. We don't want them just trying to make a brute force sale, right? They don't know how to make brute force sales. We already agreed they're not salesmen or businessmen. So we're going to change that for them. We want to be more forthcoming with our metrics, right? Because a lot of times we got to manage this a little bit. We're gonna see basically a lot of this stuff is going to be restricted behind the password. We still got to discuss that, but this is all available on some level to our resellers. Okay, so but we're going to put our money where our mouth is, because a lot of times they say, well, you just don't have the coverage. I think we covered that off in our presentation, right? Pretty clear now, right? I think we covered off in the first 5 slides. There's nobody who has a lot more. There's not this big crevasse of differences between us and our competitor. We have the same. We have more better. We have more opportunity for upsell, more opportunity for generating revenue in categories that they can't even match. That's pretty exciting. So we're going to change that. We want to make everything easy to find, really easy access, simple, consolidated solutions. And we want to heavily promote T-harnesses. We think that's a big value added. It's a big strength for us. So establishing more clarity of what we offer, covered by make, to enable more sales opportunity, right? This is the way we're going to do it. So our sales guys who are now supporting CAT, who are going to go out and sell more CAT, now have a tool. And you go up, they can know, be informed. There's nobody who should ever walk into a car dealer right now not knowing what we support, having to send an email to anybody to say, oh, I don't know what we support, guys. Bob Hernandez. So, all right. So I want to show you this. I think this is, right now it's concept. It's for discussion only, but I do want your feedback. Okay. So we're talking about this because I don't believe in promoting the message of plug and play. I may be wrong. I want you guys to correct me on this one. I believe plug and play alienates a lot of our dealers. It doesn't create opportunity. It stops opportunity. So as soon as there's a message that says plug and play to a consumer, you've taken that opportunity for revenue away from them, for the installation revenue away. Okay, so we don't want to do that. And you haven't created anything really more. You haven't really generated any excitement to the consumer level that says, well, plug and play, I don't really give a shit. Whatever it is, what it is. But there's difference between saying it's plug and play or it's a vehicle-specific digital remote starter solution for your car. That's distinctly different, isn't it?
Absolutely. Sure, yeah.
Very,
That's
very
right,
different,
right.
right? So we got vehicle-specific digital solutions for your car. That's pretty cool. What does that mean? So I walked in with my car, right? I go in, I see Mr. Bob Hernandez. Mr. Bob Hernandez, I want to buy a car starter for my Mercedes. Well, sure, yeah, we've got this generic stuff over here. It's got like 57 wires. It supports every car. It's this beautiful CompU stuff. It's great. It's made for any car. Cool. What's that stuff? Well, that stuff, Mr. Peter Fazzi, is vehicle-specific solutions for your car. They're designed for your car specifically. Well, let's go have a look and see if your car is supported. If it is, This stuff is OEM, so it's kind of the better way to go. So let's go have a look at that. You go over and grab the box. There's a vehicle application on the box that says, you know what, your car is supported. This is really cool. So this stuff is designed for your car. We have special harnessing in here that's really made to fit your car. It's manufactured for your car. All the data works and all. You know, I'm not techie enough to understand it, but this stuff is designed for your car. It's a little more money, but we can go over here and we can grab the generic stuff. I think that's probably just as good. Sale's done, right? You think that?
Come back here. Let's go back to the vehicle specific.
Oh yeah, let's go back over here. Right. What do you think? You guys think that's going to generate more sales?
Yes, absolutely it is.
Right? You think it makes it a little bit easier for our dealer, our salesman on the floor to sell the product?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Right,
the owner and the buyer feels better.
Right.
So we get to
Sales guy for sure.
Changes it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Big credibility.
Right. And they're walking out with a box. It's got a big logo that matches their car. That's pretty freaking cool, right? They bought something. They feel very good about their purchase right now, right? They feel good about it. They could have not bought a better piece of technology that fits their car. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
If they're buying a remote start, that's the way to go. So now, these displays are designed around that principle, around that concept. I want to get away. If I never hear the words plug and play again, I think it'll be too soon. Okay? So that's what we want, because we want them to merchandise the stuff on the floor. We want it to sit right on the floor, right in a big display with a big light on it, and flashing lights, all kinds of stuff. Maybe somebody dancing around it. So that consumers walk in and they see that. It creates new opportunities. Somebody who may have not wanted to buy a remote start, may have not been interested, or may have been concerned about the impact, now will. It's built for your car. So what we've done is we separated, because there's a lot of 3-lock start opportunities in here, right? So we figured, a lot of 3-lock start opportunities, so we figured putting an RF kit in a box doesn't make any sense. We already got that in 4X08. 4X08 is not a vehicle-specific kit. That's what makes it confusing, right? We took a DVL, we put an RF kit, we put it in a box, and we said, this is an RSR solution. That's not an RSR solution. That's a DVL and an RF kit in the box. What does it work with? Well, it kind of works with everything. But there's no specific nature. Why would I just take a DVL and an RF kit? Oh, I get it. So what we've done is we changed that. We put a DVL and a T-harness, no RF kit. We've taken a kit that uses 3-lock start, again, back to the OEM, right? It uses your factory fob, sir. It's really OEM stuff. So we've taken that, we put it in a box, made it sexy. Now what we've also done is we've created a 2-part display. The second part of the display would have all the RF kits. It would come with a flip book. You'd be able to flip through the book and see what it is that you're, see what your car is covered, and, be able to select a remote based on your need. 25? 15. You sucked. All right. So this is our concept. I got to rush real quick. So this is what it looks like. What do you guys think? Excellent. It's not approved. We're not building it. So we got to go to work on trying to get this approved and get this out there. So I just wanted to run it by you and see if the message is correct. I think we agree that plug and play. I think that's the message I'm hearing. It's not the right answer.
Put that now.
It's not DOI.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So I'm going to invite Ann up here. Here she is. For take 3 minutes. Sorry, Ann. I'm so sorry. I lost you. I'm so sorry.
So as Peter's been sharing with all you guys about how to sell all this stuff, I'm going to talk to you guys just a little bit about how we hope to support this stuff and to support you guys. Go over some of the changes in tech and kind of what we're hoping to do in the next year. So one of the things some of you may or may not know about is how the team leadership has changed a little bit this year. Peter, of course, is our fearless leader. A lot of you knew Patrick Goslin, who was the tech manager in Canada. He left at the end of last year. So now the way the support structure works is I manage both the teams in the US and in Canada. They all report up to me. In addition to me, David Parhat in the US and Jean Belanger, who works in the Canada office, are the leads for each for the teams. They lead across borders. It's not, they will only lead the teams on their side. So we have them there supporting everybody, supporting me, supporting Peter, working with the teams in the lead position. And then we have Luke, who reports directly to Peter, but works very closely with me in all of the training needs and scheduling you guys for all of that. So we work very closely together. So he is a global technical training coordinator, all the big titles. So we're all here to support you. We all work very closely together, and that's kind of how that all works. So if you're ever looking for anybody to, kind of escalate your support needs or anything like that, that's your leadership. We're all here to help. Changes to the team. Victor is gone up in Canada, unfortunately. We lost Louis down here, Daniel up in Canada as well. So there's been a few changes. We have Alex Joseph, who's just joined us up in Canada. He's new. He's just starting on phones probably next week. He did work for Directed up until a couple of years ago, so he is coming back. He's pretty familiar with stuff, so you may hear his voice when you call in. New phone system, something we talked about last year. You saw the pictures of one big tech support team and all that, it is actually going to happen. We're hoping by October 1st is our goal, and we think it's very realistic that we will meet it before then. What that means for you guys is when people call in to all the numbers they called in before, whether it's the Canada 800 number, the US 800 number, what's on the back of your remote, anything else that they used to dial, it's all going to this new phone system, or call director is what we call it as we're creating it. What that means is you're going to get one team with one message. You're not necessarily, if you're calling from Canada, going to get a Canada team, but it does offer some language options. So you will get French, Spanish, and English as your language options once you come in. If we can support you in that language, we absolutely will. Say after 3 o'clock on East Coast time, when there's no French people available, they will get the option to continue in English, as we've been doing for the last year. You'll get transferred down here, and if you want, we're still here to help. So you have some language options. We are one team, we're functioning as one team with already taking those calls, you know, with the same leadership, things like that. So it should be a lot more of one message. And so you're going to get somebody in one of those two places, and in that we're trying to make sure that all the support tools, all the escalation tools, everything that we're using, we are building those to make sure that it's one great tech experience. Part of this is going to mean some changes in how we support the dealers. So in the US, Viper and Clifford have been protected products. You have to be an authorized dealer for those products. In Canada, a lot of that's sold through distribution. It changes a little bit of how we have to approach it. So what we're not going to announce to the dealers or anybody else, but you guys will know, is we are going to start, once this phone system goes live, supporting Clifford for everybody who is a professional installer. Consumers will not be supported. That will stay the same. But anybody who is a 12-volt installer will get help on Clifford. We won't announce it. We won't tell them, hey, it's Clifford. Yeah, no problem. We're still going to ask for shop information so we can log the call. They'll still get the same impression. Viper, however, will be a restricted product, both in the US and Canada. For those of you in Canada, that could present a little bit of concern. It's been a backdoor. People, you don't get help here, you call Canada. So we're going to stop that. So if you're buying through distribution in Canada, that's okay. If it's still a legitimate channel, we can set up certain accounts in CRM to indicate that these folks can get support. So that's not going to completely shut down any of the dealers up there that are going to need help. It just means we're going to have to do a little bit more bookkeeping on our side, and that's it. That's what we're here for, is to make sure we support sales and how we support the customers. So just know that that's coming. You're going to get more information on all of it. One CRM's coming as well to help us support that. Escalation plan, we're going to take ownership of escalations a little different than we did in the past. You're not going to hear the, you know, hey, I put in an express tracker. It was a couple weeks ago. I haven't heard anything. David and Jean are heading up that effort. They're taking ownership of it. They have a timeline that they have to grab those escalations and start communicating with the dealer and getting responses. That does not mean that they're going to have an answer any faster, but they're working directly with the engineers. The engineers are looking for their communications to work with them, to support the team. So no matter where you call, you're going to get somebody who has support network. They have somebody owning the issues, taking care of it, ready to help them. So we have that. We've already implemented that. It's going really smoothly so far. Sorry, Peter, I know I got to talk faster. You just did tech training, so I'm going to skip that. Plans for busy season with one phone system. Hopefully it means you're going to have, you know, hold times are going to stay down. We met Boral last year in both US and Canada, so we're going to continue to keep that as our goal. Have calls answered in less than 10 minutes for dealers, so long as they come in on the right queues. Distributors are a little longer, but that's why you have the, you know, that's one of the benefits of being direct. Escalation response time, as I just mentioned, should be a lot quicker this season. Last thing I want to say to you guys is complaints. The faster the better as far as getting to me, David, Jean, anybody you want. You're welcome to call Peter. He's just going to call me, so you can just call me directly to save you guys.
That's a better idea.
But essentially, if you have a complaint, don't tell me 2 weeks later in the 721. Tell me right now, this is the experience I have. Tech support's difficult. Everybody calls because something's already gone wrong. They challenge the guys over and over and over on calls. They signed up for it. They're happy to do it. But just sometimes if someone's having a bad day and you can tell me now and I can go grab them, take them for a walk, see how we refocus them and create a better experience. If they're missing a tool, show them where it's at. Any of that kind of stuff, if I can do it right now, ask them their side of the story and really resolve the issues, it helps me. So don't shy away from it. Don't think you're going to get somebody in trouble. I understand what they go through and I want to work with them to get a better experience for you guys and your dealers. So please reach out to me, reach out to David, reach out to Jean. Let us know your experience and let us make it better for you. Questions?
Excellent.
Thank you, Ann. So in the fact that we're out of time, so there is one more thing I want to show you guys. Okay, so we know that our friends, our competitors released this product. Everybody not aware of this? They released Samir this year. It's a flashing tool that uses your smartphone or your tablet. Are we aware of this?
Yes.
Yeah? So it's pretty sexy, right? It is? Well, sort of. It's got about 66% more wires than I think it should have, because it's one cable that goes from the device to your OBD for power, got another cable that goes to your main module, and it got another cable that goes to your smartphone. So if you need your smartphone cable, right? It's got a USB on it. It can't data log. It can't connect to tech support. It can't provide data wiring. It doesn't have forums. It's not wireless. So if you forget that cable that connects your phone to the device, kind of poop out of luck, right? And be out in the field, not much you can do. And it can't be used as a bitrate or a PRG. It cannot. So, maybe it offers a Smart Start portal? You think it does? No, right? So what's it down over here? It's A for effort, but it's about as sexy as a fat man in Speedo. That's the reality. Okay, so good execution, good effort, but bad execution. So now, what if we could merge all of our tools together? Our PRG, our XK loader, our bit writer. We took all that and we stuck it on a tablet. Think that'd be cool?
Huge.
What if we can merge Express Kit DirectTech together and offer a web functionality and an app? What if we could take all those apps, all those functions, and create an app? What if installers could data log, they could debug, they could flash? What if they could do all that in the field? It'd be pretty cool, right? You run into a problem. What if they could access tech support, live tech support, with a camera? What if tech support could connect to the car via the app? That would be pretty neat. What if it was wireless? They plugged in your OBD2 for power. It'd be pretty cool, right?
Yep.
Oh, we did that. We're pretty proud of that. We're going to show you. We're going to pass it around the room. We got these XK Loader 3s. So we're going to pass it around.
Whoa.
That's cool.
That's it? That's all I get?
Like,
That's it. I like it.
Here, Peter.
That's pretty cool.
That's
He was.
So we're going to show you what this means, okay? We're going to.
2 minutes?
Yeah, that's all I have.
I'm going to take you for a super quick demo of the app because, so this is the app. Okay, I'm going to make this available to you guys real soon. Okay, I'm just going to wait for one more build. This is a functional app. I'm going to use it until somebody want to lock the door. Chris is going to come in and stop me in a minute. But this is a live app. So this is it. It's called Express Tech. Okay, you click on it. Basically, it's got a bunch of different resources. Okay, I'm going to run through it real quick. So over here, what you have our RSS feed, which is the same feeds that we get on our website that scroll through on the DirectTech homepage. We've got our vehicle lookup, which is basically how we look up vehicles. So I'm going to show you. So let's say we select a car. So we'll go 214. Let's go 211. Let's say Chevrolet. Model. Say Cruise. Submit the vehicle. Show me all the different firmwares that are available for this car, right? Like we do online. Same thing, right? These are, of course, the different stages are internals because I have alpha access, so it still carries that same alpha access or beta access or whatever access you have. So I'll select, I'll select GM10, let's say. So GM10 now gives me all my options.
That's more user friendly than the other site.
What are you trying to say, buddy? So we've got the standard install, we got RSR install, of course, because I showed you, right, we have different types of installs, right? We got the installer guide, so you can click right on that. You can go ahead and grab an installer guide, click on it and open the guide. So you can go ahead and open the guide, you can view it real quick. These are all live. So back. So you can go, RSR install guide, search the forums, enter tips specific to this car. You can go technical tips, you can add a technical tip, you've got technical support, you can connect live if there's some kind of issue, and you can save this particular search in your data file, in your my favorites file, so it's usable later, okay? So sorry guys, I'm gonna go quick because I know Chris is gonna come in a second, there's so much to show you. So then we have DirectWire. Of course we have the DirectWire access, same drill, we're changing this part, it says you have to select the country, that won't be like that anymore. But let's say we'll go and select, I don't know, your Cadillac. DeVille, 2005, kind of sucks, but anyways, 2005. A better car, but yeah. So we've got DirectWire access, right? And it's pretty quick, right? This is live. This is a live app, by the way. So we use all API calls, okay? What's that?
No, sorry, Alex was trying to pass it.
So then we have our resource lookup, which is for, let's say, our resource lookup. Let's say you have, I don't know, you want to select the brand, so we're going to select auto start, or we're going to do done, and we're going to just delete all that. So search. That's going to bring us any article we have on AutoStart. Cool? Okay, so we're going to go back, and then we have our technical tips, very much same thing. So we have all our technical tips. You guys know how many technical tips we have, right? We have like 174 million of them. They're all in here. I'm not going to search them. You can search them all by, by topic, of course. So you can go down all the different topics. Of course, it's the same thing that we have on our web, same tools. Snake Pit here, what we're doing is basically we're adding different options for you. This is sort of our sort of super tech center. So you got all the different alerts that you can set that you want to go, and DirectTech Mobile, of course, the same access point. And guides and manuals for all the different products we sell, all the different Viper analog stuff we sell. That's just a general resource for our installers. We have our forums, of course, so it's our installers can go in and use their app. We have BitWriter. This is cool. So again, we've taken away the need for the installers to have a BitWriter. They can do it all with this particular tool. They can go in, they connect. It's not connected to my Bluetooth device right now, but if it was paired, I would do a read, and if it was plugged into a device in the car, it would read and it would display them all here, just like our regular BitWriter does.
So
right?
the cable plugged in from the phone to that little adapter that goes to the OBD?
There is nothing from the phone. The phone is wireless. The phone is Bluetooth to that device. I don't know where the device is. Everybody won't hold the device, whoever has it in their hand. That plugs into the OBD2 port. It's Bluetooth to your phone, so there's no connection to this phone.
Wow.
The only cable that comes off that piece connects to a module that we want to flash.
Yeah, because I saw like the Motorola style plug on the side of it.
Well, no, the USB, the mini USB,
Yeah, mini USB.
is to flash the device itself from where we sit. It's to update the radio stack, the Bluetooth radio stack.
Okay.
And the other side of it, the wire that's sticking out, there was one that had a cable on it. That's to plug into, let's say, an interface module. So you would plug it into your OBD2 port. That's right behind that cable right there that you see hanging off it. You would plug it into, it's our standard D2D cable. Would plug into our DVL or a CM800 or whatever the case may be, and you would flash it. Pair with your phone, boom, Bob's your uncle. Start flashing. Okay. What's cool about this? What'd you say?
Bob Hernandez, man.
So I'm gonna go quick because the best part is yet to come. So we have the PRG tool. This is for AutoStart. For those who don't know what a PRG is, for those who sell AutoStart, this is also the same thing. If it was here and it was connected to a module, it would read. But this is cool. D2D. Often not, we have people say, well, I can't read the D2D messages. We're getting into that phase of technology where unless, if you don't have the tools, there's no way for you to debug, right? You're kind of done. It doesn't work. I call it tech support. It doesn't work. What is our goal, right? Minimize the amount of tech, increase the user experience, all kinds of stuff that gets throughput through the bay, increases throughput through the bay. So D2D, we have a special cable that comes in the box with this kit. It's a T cable that connects between your analog brain, your interface module, okay, and then your XK Loader 3. You sync up to your phone, you go D2D, and now what it does, it's looking for my Bluetooth connection, which is not there. Now what I can do is now I can leave my phone on the dash, and I can press the lock button, see what happens. Press unlock buttons, see what happens. If there's an error code, it's going to register it. Then what I can do is, there's an error code, I can say, God damn, found the error. That's why it's not working. Click, boom, email the log. So I can email that to tech. Okay, and I can open a text session. Okay, so I couldn't pair my phone, so couldn't find it. So that's for D2D. You think that's pretty cool?
That's really cool.
Pretty cool, right? I'm not done yet. Not done yet. There's another one. So one of the biggest barriers for entry we have into new markets is data words, right? We get into a car, again, same scenario, does it work? Or there's a message that didn't work. We get into a trim level. Like we validated in our bay, it worked great, right? Common, happens all the time. It's normal. It's not because we suck. It's because it's normal problems we run into in a car. They're different. Trim levels, country codes, it just happens, right? So you get into a car. In the field, our tech guys, they're powerless. They can't do anything right now. With this tool, we want to empower them. So they get into a new cruise. They get in, the door message doesn't work. The door lock doesn't work. Whatever the case may be. No problem. They open a session with tech. Either a tech could remotely connect to the car and view the data log, the data transmission, what's on the bus, what's happening. We just set it, we configure it for, let's say, single wire CAN, and we go into the car. Boom. Then we go next, then we connect it. If it had my OBD stack connected, it would start the log. You would start to see data streams, and we can capture it. Okay. What we can do is, from there, we can ask them to grab us logs, or we can grab the logs ourselves. So our engineers, we can escalate the tickets to a live tech support tool that we have within this application, which is right here. Tech support tool is right here. So with our live tech link, it's not working right now, but our live tech link would allow them to connect to our tech support center. They can use their under dash cam to see what's wrong with the installation and whatnot like that, or they can view the data directly off the car. So our techs could take it a step further. They can escalate it. There's an escalation process that's going to be sitting on top of this. Then when these issues come in, that our guys can create a ticket and send it to our engineering folks. Our engineering folks can now reconnect with the customer, connect to the car remotely, and solve the problem. And they can see what's happening in real time in that car.
Jeez.
Wow.
That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Very cool.
I mean, thinks it's going to win the hearts and minds of our installers?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Pretty cool?
So when again?
We're going to go Apple. It's going to be Android as well. We're going to our target launch right now is we're looking to get it shipping in about mid-November. I know it's late in the season, but we only started this project, believe it or not, 1 month ago. So, and we're pretty far advanced. We've got a piece of hardware that's built and functional. We're just starting our testing now, and the app is built. As you can see, everything's functional. Once the Bluetooth stack's all in place, so we've got to go through final testing, certification. We don't like the graphics in the app. Of course, the app's graphics suck a little bit, so we're going to evolve that as we go through the different builds. But that's a detail. It's all the functionality that we want to get into play.
This will not work flashing with Express Start 1, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yes, you can configure Express Start 1, key to go, everything. This is a global mobile solution. Cool. Global mobile solution for our installers, total. And it's wireless, so it's Bluetooth. So what's pretty neat about that is, of course, now we have a cable to tether from our little Bluetooth device that plugs into the OBD2 port. Does anybody have it? Want to hand it to me with the cable?
What are you looking for?
The one with the cable. That one there, yeah. Thank you. So right now what's cool is we know that plugs into the OBD2 port. So we already could easily hands down say that it's more convenient than our WebLink updater from our friend, right? It just plugs in and you have one wire that connects to your interface module. So let's say I'll grab the DBL 2 Pro or the CM800, whatever the case may be. So we're in the car, right? We're right there. We flashed it. We got our guide in front of us. It's on your tablet as well. We're good to go. We installed it. It's great. Installer comes back. Now for this year, I put a cable on it. But you'll notice that all the pins are populated. I only need this connection for power and ground. Why are all my pins populated? That's weird, right? That's extra money. I'll tell you why. Because what's in here is a DVL. This is a DVL inside. And with a Bluetooth stack. So we took a Bluetooth stack and we connected it to a DVL and we changed the form factor and we put it in this little box amazingly. I don't know how the hell we did that, but pretty cool. So the engineering folks did some amazing work here. So now what we're going to do is the next wave, because we recognize that what's going to happen is customers are going to come back at some point after the install, right, to change a feature or whatnot. It's going to suck a little bit to go up under the dash, take the dash down and connect to it, but doesn't separate our competitor's piece and our piece. Both have that same limitation today. Okay? That's the reality. You still have to connect to the module physically to change the feature set. That's okay. However, what we designed it with, we designed it on all the OBD connection points, so all the data bus. So all the data points, all roads lead to Rome on data buses. Even though they're on separate buses, they're carrier lines that bring you to a device. So assuming there's on a single wire network or a high-speed network, we have our module under the dash somewhere connected to a high-speed network, guess what? We got carrier lines that we can go reach that module, right? So next year, we're going to unplug it. So you'll be able to a customer comes back in. Yeah, sure, you want us to change those features on your car, Mr. Madam? We just go in, plug it into the OBD2 port, pair it with your phone, change the settings, unplug it, and you're gone. It's going to use the factory carrier wires to go find the module under the dash. So that's going to be pretty cool. Our competitors won't be able to do that. We've got some IP wrapped around that, so it's pretty neat. So for this year, we've got a physical cable, which is no big deal, right? Because we've still got a Bluetooth connection. We've got a far more advanced application than our competitors do. Yet, we've got some evolution on this device that won't require a hardware change. It's going to still be the same piece of hardware, just going to require a new bootloader, which is a flash. Cool? You guys like that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Game changer.
Cool. That's it, guys. That's pretty much all I had for you.
Super, Peter. Thank you.